Susan Abigail Sarandon is an American actress who has achieved popular recognition in the entertainment industry, though she may be more familiar among older audiences. Susan can certainly be considered a veteran actress, one who's achieved numerous accolades in her long and successful career. Susan made her film debut in 1970 as part of the leading cast in the film Joe. She ultimately was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2009 Stockholm International Film Festival for her contributions to entertainment. Aside from that, Susan has also gained a reputation for being a formidable activist and has even shown interest in American politics, becoming known to support left-wing political movements. Born Susan Abigail Tomlin on the 4th of October 1946 in New York City, the oldest of 9 children produced by Lenora Marie and Philip Leslie Tomlin, Susan grew up in Edison, New Jersey, where she finished her high school education. Although born American, Susan traces her lineage to ancestral roots in Wales and Italy. Her journey of discovering her heritage was filmed as part of the American version of Who Do You Think You Are? And featured on BBC Wales in the documentary Coming Home, Susan Sarandon. After matriculating from Edison High School in 1964, Susan attended the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C., where she aimed to achieve her Bachelor of Arts in Drama. While living in Washington, Susan supported herself by hairdressing, delivering domestic services, and working as a switchboard operator. Susan graduated in 1968 and quickly went in search of fame and fortune on the silver screen. In 1969, Susan attended an audition for Joe, the role that marked her debut in the entertainment industry the following year. In the years that followed, Sarandon gained many opportunities, which included roles in the soap operas A World Apart and Search for Tomorrow, as well as numerous films. Among others, Susan starred in the 1975 Rocky Horror Picture Show, which attracted a cult following, the film The Great Waldo Pepper in the same year, Pretty Baby in 1978, and the 1981 crime film Atlantic City, which earned Sarandon her first Academy Award nomination. Sarandon's true breakthrough, however, only happened in 1988, when she starred opposite Kevin Costner in Bull Durham, Susan's performance earning her a status of recognition that made her a familiar name in every American home, although it was still just the start of a prolific career. While younger audiences might only recognize her from more recent works, which include credits for the films The Meddler and A Bad Mom's Christmas, Susan has earned 9 Golden Globes, an Academy Award, 6 Primetime Emmy Awards, and several more accolades throughout her career. In 2002, Susan was awarded her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and for her continued participation in various activism movements. Susan also earned humanitarian awards and medals. In 2018, Sarandon was arrested, along with a great number of other women, during the Women Disobey protest in Washington, D.C. As brilliant as her career has been, Susan's intriguing love life has also earned a lot of interest from the world as well as her adoring fans, and quite so. Susan's love life has been as colorful as her career in acting and activism. Susan's first known romantic involvement was with her now ex-husband Chris Sarandon, but many sources and gossipers suspect that Susan may have had prior relationships with actors Tom Noonan and John Leone, apparently before attending Varsity. If it's true, most of the details never reached any archived files, possibly because none of the actors mentioned, including Sarandon, were of noteworthy status back then. Regardless, as these rumors have never been confirmed, it's most accurately accepted that Chris Sarandon was the first man in Susan's life. Susan met Chris while attending her freshman year at the university, where Chris was already in his graduate year. As Susan explained in the podcast, Divorced Not Dead, her marriage with Chris wasn't entirely planned, but because the relationship progressed physically, they were required to marry or face expulsion from Varsity. The two agreed to marry, but every year thereafter, they evaluated whether or not to renew their vows. Despite the circumstances, Susan nonetheless admitted that she was glad that she married, and said that her union with Chris was a spectacular time in her life. Unfortunately, 7 years after tying the knot, Chris and Susan mutually agreed to separate and file for divorce in 1979. Susan has since kept her Sarandon surname, though her fame and success as an actress far exceeds that of Chris. Susan may have dated several familiar names since, but she hasn't tied the knot again with anyone else. Some believe it merely a coincidence, while others believe her reluctance to marry again stems from the respect she has for her only husband. Following her divorce, Susan famously went on to form a romantic relationship with the French film director Louis Malle, and of course her infamous, scandalous, supposedly secret affair with David Bowie. Susan met Mile initially on the set of Pretty Baby in 1978, a year before her divorce from Chris. Even then, Susan and Mile shared a special relationship, and the French filmmaker would later cast Sarandon again in the 1981 film Atlantic City. Over the years, Susan has become accustomed to keeping the intimate details of her life secret, though never hesitates to speak out against things she doesn't support. As such, most of the details about her romantic history are obscure questions with only partial answers. Little is known about Mile and Sarandon's relationship, and Susan never shared too many details with the world, though it is believed that Louis and Susan dated for nearly 2 years. They went their separate ways sometime in 1980, though it was clear that they didn't harbor any hard feelings and remained good friends over the years. However, some sources and media outlets believe that her secret affair with singer David Bowie was to blame for the dissolution of her relationship with Mile, though it was never confirmed. Susan met Bowie for the first time when they shared the screen in the film The Hunger, often considered the most controversial role in Susan's long list of credits. While the film's controversy is unquestioned, Susan too admitted that she holds a certain fondness for younger men, such as David, who was 12 years her junior. In later confessional interviews, Susan revealed that her relationship with Bowie reached a physical status, and admitted that the singer was certainly worth idolizing. Their liaison would only become a brief encounter, however, but around the same time, Susan also stirred up rumors with another regular co-star, Richard Gere. According to reports published in 1982, Gere and Sarandon had spent a couple of dates together and quickly became a potential power couple walking the red carpet. Then, the rumors ended as quickly as Susan and Gere's romantic connection, and in 1984, following their incredible chemistry on the set of Dead Man Walking, Susan and actor Sean Penn sparked rumors that suggested a relationship in the making. However, it was nothing more than speculation and far-fetched gossiping. In 1984, following the rumors about her and Penn, Susan entered into her second long-term relationship since her marriage to Chris, this time with Italian filmmaker Franco Amuri. While a few details about their relationship are commonly known, everyone knows that Amuri became the father of Sarandon's firstborn, their daughter Ava Amuri. Although the couple shared a child, they never walked down the aisle, and when questioned about it, Susan responded by stating that she didn't want to take their relationship for granted. Susan later revealed that neither she nor Franco intended a long-term relationship when they met on the set of The Tempest, but as life simply happens, they shared the joy of parenthood. To top that off, it was against all expectations, especially because Sarandon suffers from endometriosis, a condition that causes women difficulties in conceiving. So in 1988, Amuri and Sarandon decided to mutually part ways and announced the end of their relationship, but assured fans that Eva would have a happy upbringing in spite of the circumstances. In 1987, a year before separating from the father of her child, Susan aroused suspicions of an affair after news broke regarding her Sweethearts Dance co-star Don Johnson. However, once again, it was nothing more than far-fetched speculation, as that never actually happened. Exactly who or what started the rumors, other than their on-screen chemistry, isn't known. But for a while there, a relationship between the two definitely intrigued Hollywood. Susan's on-screen matchups include several of Hollywood's most attractive bachelors, with the most popular being Kevin Costner in Bull Durham. Their romance enchanted the audience, but the real sparks in Sarandon's love life happened behind the scenes of this iconic film, and was the beginning of Susan's longest relationship to date. While filming Bull Durham, she met director Tim Robbins, with whom she fell deeply in love. At first, their relationship was not all that sweet, as the couple had to overcome the long distance between them during the initial stages of the romance. However, they survived, and for the next 20+ years, they would stay true to each other, and would later even add to Susan's young family. According to the veteran actress, Tim had no problems with their daughter, accepting her as his own, and raising their sons, Jack and Henry Robbins, together. As the years passed, Tim and Susan became Hollywood icons, the perfect example of a working relationship balancing family, profession, and all the difficulties of life, but in spite of all the obstacles, staying together. That was until 2009, when Tim and Susan announced their separation. Speculation ran rampant as Hollywood was crushed with the sad news, and quite quickly, accusations of infidelity made the headlines. However, Susan denied these claims, saying that remaining true to each other was never the problem. When news first reached the public, no reason was presented for the breakup, and the entire affair was kept as private as possible. Then, during a recent interview on the Divorced Not Dead podcast, Susan opened up for the first time about what drove her and Tim apart. According to Susan, the real difficulty in their relationship began with the birth of their sons. With Susan establishing an extraordinary relationship with Jack and Henry, Tim became jealous, which placed a strain on their supposedly enduring love. Though Sarandon did admit that she felt like a failure following the breakup, Tim, on the other hand, has hardly spoken about it at all. As can be expected, after spending 23 years together, the sudden desolation would leave a mark on even the hardiest of souls. Susan, seemingly more focused on being a good mother and continuing to show support for many humanitarian causes. However, Susan soon became involved with the professional table tennis player Jonathan Bricklin, who, being 31 years younger than Sarandon, dated the actress for 5 years starting in 2010. The couple split in 2015, as Susan admitted, because of Bricklin's insecurities. According to the Thelma and Louise actress, Bricklin struggled to accept that his career as an athlete was dwarfed in comparison to Sarandon's success. According to most reports on Susan, now in 2021, she doesn't seem to be in a relationship, though she's expressed her interest to still find love and forming meaningful relationships. During her podcast interview, Susan addressed what she always looks for in a partner, stating that the only thing that matters is the person. According to Susan, gender, race, achievements, and everything else are nothing more than details, but when selecting the right partner, it could be just about anybody. Obviously, this attitude isn't always reciprocated. She's also stated that she is perfectly happy being single. Whatever the future holds for Susan Sarandon, her fans and followers would wish her nothing but the best, hoping that she too may one day find her permanent happily ever after. In the meantime, everyone is looking forward to Susan's next appearance, but it seems the actress doesn't have anything planned at the moment, or at least that we know about. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.